Gabi. Gabi was, there's an orphanage run by the state in the city of San Pedro Sula, which is about 2 hours away from where we live. And when we went there to pick up a kid that was coming to our house, we saw Gabi. And the sight at first was actually pretty scary because she almost did not look human. She's 5 months old in this picture, and she was so frail, so tiny. It looked like she had been dressed with some sort of doll dress, and we were just like haunted by her the next couple days. And immediately we wanted to do something about it. We contacted the judge, asked her to mandate Gabi to it's like a renutrition hospital that there is there. And she actually didn't have a name. We decided that we were going to take her with us and call her Gabriela, because at the same time that she was so frail, there was something about her that reminded us of an angel, and it was a kind of a mixed. And the problem is she never made it to her house. She died before she could come. But this picture is from a couple of years ago. But there's something about Gabi that makes me really angry, because a lot of kids are in the same situation as her. They are born, but they don't really exist, and they die without anybody recording their existence either. So there's a very severe case of malnutrition, as you can see. And the next picture, that's Christian. This is the boy who just turned a year old. I took this picture right before I left, so he was about 10 months. And Christian comes from the same orphanage where Gabi was. And when they called us to see if we could go pick him up, we went, and he was a month and a half by then, but he looked more like a fetus than actually like a baby. He was also very bad shape, and his skin was kind of like the scales of fish. It was just so rough, and he's allergic to milk, any protein with the milk, but he was being fed with cow milk with sugar in a bottle, so that just really destroyed his health. And so he's been with us, and that's what he looks now. His eyes are not getting any smaller. It's just those big eyes, and I'm not really a baby person, but this little one has me wrapped around his finger. Christian, his story is he's from San Pedro. His mother was a street woman who has mental illnesses and addiction to, I'm not sure which drug, but she's on drugs. And she would just walk up and down the streets of San Pedro with Christian in a plastic grocery bag, and the kid was spending most of his time covered in his own excrements, naked. And when I hold him and I think of that, it almost seems surreal. Like no kid should go through. Sorry, no kid should go through that. So I guess for those of you who will have the experience of coming down and being able to be with the kids and loving them and getting a lot of love back, because the kids are so loving. It's really hard to think that somebody you love so much has been through so much pain, so much suffering, and so much injustice. And I guess one of our mandates as Christians, and even just as human beings, is to try to do something about this and try to alleviate their suffering and try to give more opportunities to as many kids as possible, right? So I do have some happy stories too. We're very proud this year because we have a lot of kids. 5 kids graduated from 6th grade, which there is quite an accomplishment, and 2 have graduated from high school. One of them with the highest grade of her high school, and they're going on to university next year to study medicine and journalism, God willing. We're hoping it works. So that is very encouraging, because these kids started in Vida y Libertad when they were in 2nd grade, so it's kind of like they did the full journey, you know. So it's nice to see that it's easier when they're little to tell them what they should and should not do. But when they're getting older, you just really want to guide them and see what opportunities they have for them for their future. But in Honduras, it's so difficult because it's just such an upside-down society in general that it just seems like a very big challenge. Also for safety, we've had many safety issues, both at the home, which is why we're going to be building a security wall soon, but also, well, my personal safety. We've talked about it a little bit with Doug and Glenda. I've had many situations where my own safety was jeopardized, and I'm still there to talk about it, and so there's nothing too traumatic, but still not fun. And also just for faith, sometimes there's things that happen that we don't really understand, and it's pretty easy to get overwhelmed by hardships and just kind of get caught in the whys and in the unfairness of it all. So if you want to pray for that, that'd be nice. And I don't know if you have any questions. Yes.
I have a whole bunch of questions. One question was
just hang on. I'm going to get you, Steve. I'll run the mic around.
I just was wondering if you would take a few minutes and tell us about yourself and your folks, and just give us a sense of where you're coming from in your journey as a person, go back to your family and all of those kinds of things. Would you do that?
A quick biography? Yeah. Well, I was, my parents are missionaries, so I was born in a Christian family. My parents have been missionaries in Spain since I was 7 months old. They're John and Lise Francis. I don't know if maybe some of you have met them at some point. But they were missionaries in Spain for 20 years, so I grew up in Spain, moved around, and then I came back to Canada after high school, so that was 11 years ago. And then I spent 6 years in Canada. I went to Bible college and then studied to be a social worker in Montreal. And after I graduated, I left for Honduras, and I've been there for the last 5 years. So I pretty much moved around. And do you want more details?
That'll do for now.
And are your parents now missionaries?
Yes, my parents, they will be moving to Honduras in this year to work with Leaders 4. That's what it's called, right? Leaders 4. So.
You have a big turnover. Do you have a lot of children come to the facility and then they leave after they get?
No, like the children that are with us, it's not a transition place, it's really a home. So we try to create just a sense of belonging for them there. The children grow up with us. And it has happened in a couple of cases where the kids were with us really because the parents had no means to raise them. And then after they've gone back, but it's very few cases.
You, I'll probably at least follow me, but
Yeah.
You mentioned that you have devotions every night. Hopefully, it depends on how things go, I guess. But spiritually, besides that, what's in place? Do you have a church on the facility that you attend, and is there anything else?
Yeah. Well, the children's home is kind of in the sticks, you call it. It's far from town, but so there's no church around the area. But that sometimes the kids get to go to church if a bus comes and picks them up. But what they do is they go to Awana every Saturday. And for a long time they were going to a church. Their bus broke down, so there's no transportation means to go. But the church that has the Awana program comes and picks them up, and then they go there. So that's one of the things. A lot of them go to Christian schools as well. So they have...
The entire organization
is Christian,
is.
yes. But there is a church now that are looking at getting a way to come pick up the kids so that they can go. project, help out with the kids, build something like we were talking about. Also, we have a sponsorship program through FAIR, where people send a certain amount of money per month to help with the expenses of one kid, and then they get to correspond with the kid, and just it's kind of we call it padrinos in Spanish, like to be kind of like a godfather, but it just doesn't sound right in English.
If we were to maybe help in getting other churches involved too, would that be a big help to use too?
It would be a very big help. Yeah, right now I was discussing with a few people that most of the funds for the Casa Hogar have been coming from Spain, but because of the economy crisis, the people are more unemployed, so the funds have been cut down a lot, but we have more kids than there used to be, so there's more expenses, and yeah.
And now you have more land to work with.
And we have more land to
So
work with.
you're going to need more help.
Yeah, we hope that more people, more churches will get involved with us and help us to achieve those long-term goals that we have. So.
So there's not a school right on the property?
No, the kids go to school in town. Yeah, well, it saves us the trouble of being a school, but it's also good for them to be part of society, and just it would get pretty suffocating for them to have everything just in one place. But at least I wouldn't want that.
What kind of an organization are you, like number-wise, people, staff, missionaries?
Okay, so there's only, as a missionary, there's only Tina, the director, and I. She's from Spain, as I said, and the rest mostly are single mothers who are employed, and that's the way they put food on the table for their own kids. So there's 3 ladies who work during the day usually, sometimes 4, and then there's 2 ladies who stay there for the night, plus Tina and I. And there's a cook. And,
Guy too.
and there's a maintenance guy. That was just
Not a lot of staff.
no, not a lot of stuff.